Emoni Bates is, without a doubt, one of the best high school basketball players in the country. Not only did he average 33.1 points last season, but he also became the first sophomore to win the Gatorade National Player of the Year award. The hype is real for Emoni Bates, with some analysts calling him the best prospect since LeBron James. In a very unexpected and surprising move, Bates announced his commitment to Michigan State to play under head coach Tom Izzo. I could spend hours talking about how great of a player he is, but today, I really want to talk about who Emoni Bates is as a person and how that has impacted his game. First, let's get into all that he has accomplished up to this point. Emoni James Wayne Bates was born on January 28, 2004 at the University of Michigan Hospital to parents Elgin, who is also known as EJ, and Edith. He has lived in Ypsilanti his whole life. His father, a former professional basketball player, began training Emoni from a young age. When he was only in 4th grade, he played amongst high school seniors in a local rec league. This dude was definitely a man amongst boys. He garnered national attention at the age of 12 after averaging 28 points per game during an AAU tournament. He grew 7 inches while in middle school and reached 6'7" in 7th grade. Bates attended Ann Arbor's Clag Middle School, where he averaged 46 points a game as a 7th grader. He also played AAU with the Bates Fundamental Squad, coached by his father. After sitting out his 8th grade season because the competition was way too easy, Bates enrolled at Lincoln High School. As a freshman, he averaged 28.5 points and 10.2 rebounds and helped lead Lincoln, a school that had never advanced to the quarterfinal round of the state tournament, to its first ever state title in the state's largest division. Just 1 year prior to his arrival at Lincoln, the Rail Splitters finished just 11-10, as he was clearly the X factor for his team, and that season really expressed how much of a team player he is. He was named Michigan's Gatorade Player of the Year and Max Preps' National Freshman of the Year. Following that season, many analysts labeled Bates as the best freshman high school basketball player ever. As I mentioned before, Bates bested his numbers from the year before as he averaged 33.1 points and 9 rebounds while shooting 37% from three-point range. His career high of 63 points and 21 rebounds came in a double overtime win over Chelsea High School. 63 points as a sophomore. That is insane. Unfortunately for Bates, he was unable to lead Lincoln to another state title due to the coronavirus pandemic and the suspension of all winter postseason tournaments in the state of Michigan. His early development has allowed him to dominate his opponents. He's a shot creator, he's a dead-eye shooter, and he's a strong finisher in the paint. Despite his thin stature, he's focused on eating and working out more in order to become the most versatile player he can. He currently stands at 6'9" and 205 pounds, but I'm sure he's going to grow a couple of more inches, and he will need to add at least 20 more pounds in order to become an actual threat in the NBA. Many people call him a young KD, as he may not be as tall, but he's definitely way more dominant than KD was while in high school. Despite recently committing to Michigan State, he plans on heading straight to the NBA if the association decides to abolish the 1 year removed from high school rule following the 2022 NBA draft. Emoni has expressed frustration as some major schools, including UNC Chapel Hill, have not offered him, as they believe that he will not play college ball at all. If players are allowed to make money in college, I believe Bates will attend Michigan State if he ends up reclassifying into the class of 2021. That way, he will be able to sign endorsements without any violations whatsoever. Due to his high following on Instagram and Twitter, with over 350,000 total followers, he would be able to rack in serious cash revenue if the NCAA allows athletes to profit. Right now, we just have to wait and see what he decides. Now, let's get into who Emoni Bates really is as a person. let's get into the side of Emoni Bates that they don't tell you about. From what I can tell, Emoni Bates is a very humble person. In an article by the Denver Post from 2017, Bates said, "I don't really pay attention to it," in regards to all the media attention he receives. He stated that he doesn't want it to get to his head. He just wants to play basketball. This mindset instilled in Bates will allow him to have great success in the future. He understands that he's a great basketball player, but he doesn't try to appear cocky or arrogant. Emoni's father, EJ Bates, is trying everything he can to allow Emoni to become the best player mentally and physically that he can be. EJ struggled in school, and as a result, he did not end up playing basketball at a powerhouse. Instead, he settled for the Division II route and eventually played basketball overseas in Europe. In order to make up for his mistakes, he forbids Emoni from playing basketball until all of his homework is completed. That is strict parenting right there. The dedication to academics has paid off, as Emoni is an honor roll student. His father is trying all he can to prevent any distractions for Emoni, whose career could easily become derailed if he is around the wrong people. EJ even recently created and will become the coach of his own basketball academy, where Emoni will attend this fall. When EJ was compared to LeVar, EJ shot back saying, "I don't have to brag about what we're doing. I let other people do all the talking about how good Emoni is, because word of mouth is the best advertising there is." That is some truth right there. The whole family is trying hard not to bring too much unwanted attention into their lives. Emoni has denied more than he has accepted offers to play for USA Basketball, and the only reason why he had been attending Lincoln High School was because his dad has known Lincoln head coach Jesse Davis for over 30 years. The only really negative thing I found out about Emoni was a story from AP News that was posted in November of 2017. A player on the opposing team was trash-talking Emoni, and Bates responded with a two-handed shove to the chest that sent the other player sprawling towards the hardwood. Bates stated that he is not the type of person to lay back when people are talking disrespectfully. This is a good example of his ferocious demeanor during basketball games. Another example occurred during the first round of the state playoff this last March, when Bates was involved in a skirmish which resulted in a double technical foul and an ejection. These acts of reconciliation often lead to a boost in the team's confidence and a scoring outburst from Bates. Although some people may criticize him for a lack of maturity, I believe these acts of aggression are the only way he can deal with all the negativity he receives. Emoni has a Mamba mentality, and he takes the game very seriously. If he has a bad game, he will demand his dad take him to a gym so he can practice shooting hundreds of times. However, when he's at home, Bates puts his competitive edge to a rest, and he even enjoys cuddling with his mom on the living room couch to watch TV. After his commitment to Michigan State, analysts are calling him the best prospect the Spartans have landed since Magic Johnson, and that Emoni may be able to bring a national championship to East Lansing if he actually does keep his commitment. Now we just need to hope that none of the pressure or expectations gets to his head and messes up his game. Let's take a look at a player similar to that of Emoni Bates, who had similar hype from a young age. Andrew Wiggins is a good case study, as he was clearly the top player in his class by his sophomore year. Now he is seen as a flop despite putting up decent numbers through his first 6 seasons. But he isn't a star. He's not the player who he was. We aren't seeing him develop as well as we thought he would, and he isn't dominating the league. Because of all the hype and success he had in high school, his NBA career will never be seen as anything better or even on the same level. Wiggins has not developed into a playmaker, and there is a chance that Bates will fail to develop playmaking abilities as well. In terms of his future, no one will really know what will happen. He could very well become the best ever, or he could become a very mediocre player who fails to develop any further. It's really all up in the air. That's the end of this video. Make sure to comment, subscribe, and like. See you guys next time. Thank you.